Welcome to a presentation, Why Sales Coaching, presented by Sales Progress, a training reinforcement partner company. Hi, I'm Tim Hagen. I'm the president of Sales Progress and Training Reinforcement Partners, and I wanted to share with you a perspective as to why we need to implement sales coaching into the development of our sales teams. Now, before we get into some of the specifics, what do we really know about salespeople? Are they really accurate with their forecasts? And I'm going to stereotype here a little bit, but do they ever come in and ask us to role play before that big deal? How many times in your last sales meeting did half the hands go up and say, by the way, I'm not going to hit my quota this month? And the reason I bring these things up, because I'm a salesperson, so I'm not criticizing salespeople, but very often we're not even honest with ourselves, and we need that coach. We need that person to kind of help us stay on the straight and narrow, to help us really look in the mirror and see what I really specifically need to do to garner success. We play so many games in our own minds to get through the process or to create success in our own mind, and very often that creates some challenges. So, we know that our salespeople, we have good ones, we have challenging ones, we have ones who think they know everything, we have some that are so inaccurate with their forecasts. There's so many, it's just a mixed bag of people, isn't it? But what do we typically do? We get them all in staff meetings and we tell them we got to get their numbers up. That does not develop anything. So, through the years, we know we've gone through some different migrations of what sales training is. From the typical workshops and seminars to e-learning has become a huge industry unto itself. And then we also know that webinars are now being used as a training tool for our salespeople, typically in product training. Now, we started to realize something over the last few years. People don't have time for traditional training. Even the e-learning courses are too lengthy. But the missing piece has always been that lack of training, reinforcement, and coaching. I, as an outside sales trainer, can never have the impact a manager can with his or her employees. I don't know your industry the way you do. I don't know how to differentiate your products the way you do. I don't know how to overcome a competitor objection as it relates to the specific of a competitor. You, the leader, the manager, are there. You're the ones who need to be coaching. So when we talk about driving growth through coaching, the first thing you have to start thinking about is the knowledge. What do they need to know? Product-wise, do they know the steps of making a cold call? Do they know the steps of diffusing an angry customer? Do they know the steps of overcoming a price objection? And then if you know something, you don't arbitrarily get better at it, because I can teach you how to swing a golf club. I can show you exactly what to do, but that doesn't mean you're going to do it skillfully, and that's where simulations and practice sessions come into play. And behavioral. What attitudes, anxieties, or fears exist as it relates to each salesperson? And I guarantee you the roughest example I always bring up to people, go up to a salesperson and ask them, when a customer gives you a price objection, at that moment, what do you specifically say? I have yet to hear an intelligent answer from a salesperson. That doesn't mean they're bad people, it's just our opportunity to help them. And behaviorally, they're fearful. Now, how many of you have those salespeople who think they have all the answers and they possess that attitude, I don't need any help? And are they motivated? Are they so motivated they come to you and say, I want to role play, I want to practice, I want to prepare, I want your constructive feedback? So these are things that drive growth. So when we look at growth through performance development, you have to define the requirements of what you want from your people. This will not exist on a job description. Knowledge, what do they need to know? What are the steps? What are the products? Skills, what do they need to be able to do? A job description will depict cold calling. A good sales leader will depict cold calling as making outbound calls with absolute conviction and energy to pursue each and every prospect's needs thoroughly. That's a really good description of a skill set. And behaviorally, what do they need to do flawlessly and consistently without having to think? One of the number one frustrations that salespeople have today is, I didn't know my manager wanted that from me. If you can't describe specifically what they need to know, knowledge, what they need to be able to do, skills, and what they need to do on a consistent basis without having to think behaviorally, then you're leaving it to chance. So the coaching process is really quite simple. The first thing you should look for is effort. Are they willing to make an effort? And I use this rough example. It's much like a child in baseball. The kid gets in the batter's cage or the batter's box and he just looks over at the pitcher. He's not going to lift the bat. But maybe a week or two down the road, for whatever reason, just out of the frustration of just sitting there, he or she swings the bat. They don't even hit air, but that's effort. And if you coach to effort, initially you're going to get to something called progress. And progress could be foul tipping the pitch, maybe grounding out to the shortstop, and then maybe ultimately the first set of results we're looking for is hit the ball into the outfield. At least start to create a chance of getting your first hit. So when you're coaching, you first coached effort. If they're exhibiting effort, hold on to it for dear life, because progress and results are right on the corner. I hope this has helped. If you'd like any information or if you'd like a copy of our free book, Quit Managing and Start Coaching, send me an email. We'd be happy to send it to you. Thanks for your time.